Cable car.
Welcome to Masada National Park.
Vai fazer tatá, hein? Não se desespere.
Olha aí,
Street dance right
Please be careful of the automatic doors. We hope you enjoy your visit.
Amorzinho sai. Misericórdia.
Eu falo nada pra ter
Full रेगिस्तान एकदम बाप रे अमेजिंग ये रास्ता था पैदल बोला रनिंग
you know, and what you're gonna see as well. But let's put first directions. Over here is north, where you're standing. Okay, the people are standing here. This is the northern part. You standing at the south. All right, I'm standing at the west. All right, and those people are standing on the east. So So just behind you, you can see the Jordan Valley that separates Israel from Jordan, and the Dead Sea, of course. This is the eastern part of Israel. All right. Looking at Masada here, King Herold the Great, he was the king at that time, 2,000 years ago. He was given this land as a gift, you could say, to rule over it, especially after his father became a very good friend of Augustus Caesar, and King Herold converted to being a Roman, and his father as well, and his mother. King Herold was born in Ashkelon, the city south of Tel Aviv, for an Edomite family. All right, Edomite, which means originally from the southern tribes of Jordan, Arabic speaker. He's not a Jew, so pagan, of course. And he was born and raised by that family. At a young age, he went to Rome to study architecture. So you could say he did all of that not out of nothing. He had a degree, you know, a certificate. He was an architect. And over there, while he was in Rome, he became a very good friend of Augustus Caesar. When he came back in the year 37 before Christ, he was given the northern parts of the land of Israel to rule. He impressed the Roman Empire over there. He was able to tell them, to show that he was eligible to be a king. So Augustus Caesar said, I'm going to give you the rest of the country to rule over it. And immediately, when King Herold was given the land as a gift, he faced a problem. How come an Edomite, a pagan, will rule over Israel, which is a Jewish state? All right. At that time, there was the Maccabees. You know, if you read the book in the Bible, the Hasmonean family here. So it's a Jewish priestly family who are controlling Israel. How come they will allow King Herold to rule over them? So he had a problem, but he was a clever man. He was a wise man. All right. He knew what he was doing. So he went and asked, who is the most famous Jewish priestly family in Israel? And they told him Ben Matityahu. All right, and he went and married Miriam, his wife, his first wife. She's a Jew, and by that he somehow became connected to Judaism. And after that, they allowed him to rule over the city, over the land. So that problem is done. All right. Now he has to rule the city and he has to impress the Roman Empire. How he will do that? By building beautiful buildings and big buildings. So he built the Temple Mount as the biggest Roman project at that time. Okay, he impressed the Roman Empire with that. Even Augustus Caesar, he didn't see any project like that before. Okay, the Temple Mount. He built palaces all along the Jordan Valley. He built at least 10 palaces on the Jordan Valley. One of them is Masada. Okay, and for so many reasons. The main reason is just in front of us in the valleys here. There was one single type of tree planted all over. It's called the balsam tree. Balsam tree. It's a tree that has small fruits. When you crush it, it gives you like an oil. It was used for anointing and for frankincense, you know, for in the temples and in the palaces. So it was very wealthy. And at that time, Mark Antony, the second emperor, he was a friend of Cleopatra. Okay, he wanted to give all these lands to Cleopatra in Egypt. But King Herold said, no, I should be the one who take that because I'm ruling the country. So he started building palaces along the Jordan Valley in order to secure the balsam trees. Masada was one of them. To make the very long story short, okay, we're looking at Masada. He, as I said in the bus, he decided to build Masada in order when he comes here, if in any case something happened, he will able to stay here at least 3 years without the use, because look around you, everything is dead. There was no cable car at his time, so it was, you know, walking all the time, or there's no camel can go up this steep, you know, very steep. So he should have storage for at least 1 year. So, but he made it for 3 years. So all of these is storage houses, okay, which is just behind you, okay, until where you see the people are standing over there. What's in between is all the storage houses, okay, which means that we're standing somewhere in this area, okay, looking at the storage houses and at the northern palace, because where the people are standing over there, they are standing at the balcony, okay, at the balcony. As you can see, he built his palace with 3 phases, okay guys. The first phase was the balcony in order to have the best views over the Jordan Valley. Then, if you notice, there are stairs here leading down. Okay, he will come down to the second floor, and this was a library, you know, for books. He would go get a book after taking a bath, of course, and he will be, you know, walking and you know, reading the book, enjoying the views. After he's finished everything, he will go down to take another bath. So this is a private bath. All right. So King Herod was a maniac. He was a businessman. All right. He wanted to live the best life. All right, and he lived for 59 years. It's nothing. But 2,000 years ago, if you live up to 35 years, you are fabulous. You are the best. So how come? I mean, he lived 59 years. It's telling us he lived the best life. He had no worries. He had no, you know, he had money. He had power. He could do anything he wants. The thing is that you know, he not only he built a private bath, but also he built a public bath for anyone who's visiting him in his palace. But he said also, I love anyone who comes to visit me to be pampered as well. I don't want you to come and take one bath. I want you to take 3 baths. He built a complex of baths, all right, a complex. This one is a tepidarium, which means a room temperature, okay? And then he built a frigidarium, which means a cold water, from the word fridge, okay? Frigidarium in Latin. And then he built a caldarium, which means a very hot Roman bath, a hot tub, you know? So he had 3 types of baths. You can enjoy your time before going to the balcony or before eating something. In those storage rooms, we found potteries bearing what food, what drinks King Herod used to order, because he used to make deliveries here, okay, to Masada. For example, he used to order dry fish from Italy, all right, not from Israel, from Italy. He used to order apples from Spain and wine from Spain as well. So he was a businessman, you know, he was a maniac. He became, you know, he had lots of power, he could do anything. So he sat here, enjoyed his time. Then he built also another palace, which is called the Western Palace, because we're standing at the west, right? Which is right of that area where you see the wooden beam and the people are standing. This is the starting point of the Western Palace. It's all about rooms for, you could say, his soldiers as well. All right, palace for his soldiers, for the people. He was more using this palace. Of course, he had watchtowers, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see them around. That one is a fort, you know, a watchtower, in order to secure. He built a wall around the Masada, and this wall is very has a special name. It's called Kesmet wall. Kesmet wall. All right. Yes. It's a special wall. It's not only done by King Herod, but with I mean, that period was very popular. This wall, if you have money to do that, because as you can see, it's 2 walls, one inside, one outside, and what's in between will be rooms for the soldiers in case of a war. Casement wall. You will understand more when we start walking all that area. In any case, that is Masada. He designed it to be very well, you know, a palace, a very beautiful palace. But you know, guys, there's one thing missing. I mean, I told you he has 2 palaces, bath, storage rooms, food, watchtowers. There's one thing is missing. Can anyone think what is that thing? Doesn't have to be very accurate, you know, just a guess. A palace, Roman bath, public, private, you know, storage houses, walls, everything. Water, exactly. There's no water. Water is the most important element for any nation to flourish, guys. And this palace, you know, there's a lot of buildings, all right? A lot of buildings. They need water for the mixing of mud. They need water for the animals that were here, for the bath, for the private one, for King Herod himself, all right? So how come he will bring the water? There's no water, there's no fresh water in the area. So King Herod, just behind that mountain, he dug a canal. Just behind that mountain, there's underground springs, okay, coming from Jerusalem and from the rainwater of Jerusalem. He dug a canal, and you will see that canal, and he brings all the water from behind the mountains until this area here, okay? But at his time, there was no pumping motors or stations, you know, to pump up the water, okay, up that elevation. So what he did, was very genius and cruel at the same time. He ordered hundreds of thousands of people every day to go down the mountain, take 2 buckets, fill the 2 buckets of water, go up there one more time, okay? Fill a very big water cistern here in the palace, and then when this one is filled, it will fill all the small ones dug in the mountain. All right? So this is what King Herod did regarding water. And of course, everything was doing well. All right? So this is what happened with King Herod the Great, more or less. I want to tell you a bit about the end of the life of King Herod the Great, since we are in his palace. At the end of his life, he became paranoid because, you know, he was able to build all of this, the Temple Mount, as I told you, all the big palaces, Caesarea, the city of Caesarea. He built the city of Caesarea from 0 level. He became wealthy a lot. At the end of his life, he had a heart attack and he was dying. You know, he heard, when he was dying, he heard people are, laughing and being very happy because he's gonna die, because people did not love King Herod the Great in his life. And but miraculously God gave him another chance to live, all right? And he woke up from that heart attack. But he said, I'm gonna punish the people. I'm gonna punish the people because they laughed at me. And when he was really dying after 1 year in Jericho, which is not very far from here, maybe 1 hour drive, Jericho, he built a palace there. He named it Kypros after his mother. We found it. And in Jericho, when he was dying, he ordered his soldiers to kill another 7,000 person with him the moment he dies, in order to make sure that everyone in the city will cry on him. Imagine, 7,000 people, they will have another 7,000 cousins and relatives, right? So, as Josephus Flavius, the Jewish historian, tells us, all right, he tells us that in Jericho, when he died, he killed another 7,000 people. Even people in Jerusalem could hear the mourning and crying of the people of Jericho. And everyone in Jerusalem started asking, what happens? What are those sounds? And people would tell King Herod died. And it seems like everyone is crying because King Herod died. All right? This was his plan. Even, I mean, you can imagine that person, he even thought of the last second of his life, what to do in order to make sure everyone is admiring him. He died, all right? He also killed his wife, Miriam, I forgot to mention, all right? That's something important. But since he loved her very, very, very much, he filled her coffin with honey in order to die with sweet memories. All right? This is what he did, as Josephus tells us. Yes, so he was married to her, more or less, you could say, like a business, in order to gain the country, the love of the people. And the moment they loved him, and he brought 3 sons from her, he also killed them. But in any case, he also buried all of them with honey. In any case, he died. Later, after his time, his sons ruled over Masada, over so many places. The Bible itself mentions some of the sons of King Herod. He had so many sons, so many wives, not only 1 or 2. He's the king, of course. But after his time, in the year 66, we start to hear about something called the Great Jewish Revolt. Okay? It's a rebellion that started between the Jewish and the Romans, okay, in Caesarea, in the city that was built by King Herod the Great. Why? Because at that time there was an emperor, his name is Nero. He hated Christians and Jews at the same time. He was a pagan, okay? And at his time, Christianity was still a new religion, you know? And Judaism was already there. But at that time, Rome went on fire. So he said, I know who did that. Those are the Jewish and the Christians. And he started persecuting both, okay? And he said, I'm gonna go to Jerusalem, destroy the temple built for God. I'm gonna build myself a statue, and everyone should come to the temple and pay taxes for me, all right?
Who is
And
this?
Nero, his name, Emperor Nero. And also, his soldiers killed another 10 rabbis in Caesarea, okay? So, it was the starting point of the Great Jewish Revolt in the year 66, but it's a very, very, very long story. I'm gonna make it short. In the year 70, this is a very important date. Do you know what happened in the year 70 in Jerusalem? Yes, it's the destruction of the Second Temple, all right? So 4 years after the rebellion, because the Roman soldiers came to here with the elite soldiers at that time, like Vespasian and Titus. All right, those are the people who destroyed the temple, by the way. They came to here and they were, I mean, sent to, you know, how you say that, to now finish the rebellion that is here. But it ended up with the destruction of the temple and the burning of all Jerusalem in the year 70. So those people who were able to flee from Jerusalem, they came and decided to live in the Judean desert because no one is here and no one will live here. All right, so they came and they saw Masada. They came to Masada, 960 people, as Josephus tells us, and they lived very good life for the moment. I mean, they have food, they have bath, they have private, everything. They have everything. Later, when the Romans were done burning Jerusalem and destroying the temple, they said, let's go also to the Judean desert, check who's there, because it's part of Israel. And Flavius Silva, the one who was leading the 10th Legion, is the most strongest army at that time, all right? He comes to Masada here, and the people who were in Masada, they look that way, and they would see 50,000 soldiers at least coming towards them. Okay, not exactly towards them, but towards the area. I mean, but they witnessed them when they were coming closer, they witnessed them, and now they tried to conquer Masada. The Romans tried to conquer Masada, but the Jewish here at the beginning started throwing, you know, stones and oil, burning oil, boiling oil, so they couldn't do it. But Flavius Silva, of course, is a wise man. He's the elite general leader of the 10th Legion. So he said, I know what should be done. I will secure Masada. So he built a wall all around Masada, just like the walls of Jerusalem, right? A wall around Masada, and you can still see it, all right? And after building the wall and made sure that no one can escape, all right, he built 8 Roman camps around Masada. The biggest one was where you are exactly standing, the northwest, okay, northwestern part of Masada. And he camped with the other 50,000 people, so 4,000 at least in every camp, all right? And they sat like that, waiting what will happen. The Jews didn't mind that in the beginning because they had food, they had everything. Later, by time, the food started to decrease, the water, the ammunition, the support, and everything started to decrease, all right? And until they said, you know, I guess that's over. I mean, they said, we guess that's over, that's the end of the story, we should do something. And at the same time, the Romans, after a couple of, as Josephus tells us, they camped 3 years around Masada, all right? And the Romans started building an artificial ramp, guys. Some of you told me they hiked the ramp already, but this is another way to go up to Masada, okay? It's a ramp that was built from 0 level by the Romans at that time to conquer Masada, and when they were done building the ramp, they also built a tower, a wooden tower, to conquer Masada, just like, you know, in the movies in ancient times. There's a picture over there, I'm going to point out to that. It shows you better how the tower looked like, depending on Josephus' previous book. But when the Jewish, to make the very long story short, so all of this is happening, they said, that's it, that's the end of the story, but we're not going to die in the hands of the Romans. So Eleazar ben Yair, who was here, the general leader, he said, I have a plan, let's all of us take a sword, all right, each one has a sword, he will take it and stab the other. And by that, he became the last one to be in the mountain. He put his sword on the ground and he fell on it and he killed himself. So that everyone over here died on Masada in order not to die with the hands of the Romans, to die with dignity, all right? Saying all of this, guys, I want you to just keep, imagine if all of them died, how do we know all those stories that we know today and I told you? Okay, let's go to the other side and talk more about that story, all right? Okay, before we continue, guys, because some other groups, if all people, you can open the way for the people. I'm sorry, open the way. If all of them died, how do we know all those stories? Okay, because Josephus Flavius, when he comes to the mountain, to Masada, because Josephus Flavius is not originally called Josephus. He's Yosef ben Matityahu. He's a Jew. He's a Jew who was taken captive by the Romans, and because of that he converted. Yashar or
The power share, you speak English? Please let us just pass through so they won't bother you. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, after they let him convert and marry a girl from the family of Flavius. Okay, and Joseph is the Arabic Hebrew name of Josephus. Okay, of Joseph. So he said they ordered him to be the historian of the Romans, and in every war they started bringing them to here. Okay, so he was walking on top of Masada. Everything is destroyed. You can imagine it's a big war. Everything is destroyed. But when he heard in a cave, coming from a cave, to sounds, he went to the cave and he saw a mother and a daughter. Okay, hiding themselves. He started questioning them very, very quickly. What happened? Can you tell me what happened? And he told all the story that I told you now. All right. Now I want you to think. All right. At the end of the tour, okay, whether the move that was done by the Jewish people here, was it a heroic story? All right, heroic story that all of them killed themselves and not to die with the hands of the Romans, or it's a suicidal act because it's forbidden in religion to kill yourself. All right. So that is something I'll leave it for you. Maybe you can discuss that later in the bus, okay? And get to know more about this story. But in any case, before we continue, all the line, the line, you can see the black line all over Masada. Everything underneath the line is original. Everything on top of the line is recreated by the National Park authorities. Okay? Yes. So let's go this way.
Okay, also nur da unten anfassen. नीचे का अभी तक पूरा ओरिजिनल है ये सूट है ना पार्टी ये सूट है जो पार्ट है क्या बना
So this is the original plan.
Doch, ich weiß nicht, dass das so mehrere 10 Tonnen schwere Steinblöcke waren. Ja. Siehst du das? Das muss in unserem Glaube dann in 20 Jahren noch. Obwohl, nee, die machen wir
amazing history, no?
So, down the slope at the library, at the Roman bath. Yes, you can see it. And if you move your eyes just further north, you can see a rectangular building on the ground. Rectangular building also to your left side. You can see the big rectangular building. To your left. 9 o'clock direction. And you see the big building, the big structure on the ground, the rectangular one. Yeah.
What is that over there?
Rectangular shape on the ground. It's bigger than everything. Yes, it's a Roman camp. That is a Roman camp. I told you it's the biggest Roman camp And maybe in front of it exactly you can see the starting of the wall, and over there down the slope you can see there's a wall going all around, and there's another rectangular over there. That is another Roman camp. So 8 Roman camps around Masada. Okay, 8 Roman camps, and the wall. This is all from the Roman time. All right. And that's down there is the library. Beneath it is the Roman bath, and we're now at the balcony. Okay. So I recommend take few pictures if you want. Okay, take few pictures, and later we'll be leaving the area to continue more to see Masada. It's a big place.
Terrace. These terraces was more for guests, not for
You must be from Idaho.
You gotta get south of Tampa to get the Florida.
It still ain't Tennessee.
So we can ask you one thing. Thank you. The full size.
Guys, stand in the shade. Always good to have the majority. So look at this, guys. This is the Roman bath complex. It's a big complex, okay? As you can see here, which is that way, is the tipidarium, okay, which is the room temperature bath. Over here, where are we now? We're standing somewhere in this area, and you can look at the mosaic. Okay, you can see the mosaic now. It's there's a fence, like small fence. Behind it is the mosaic. Okay, the mosaic. It's plastered and mosaics and everything. This is the cold bath, and all of this, which is this building, is the Roman bath. So as you can see, there's a couple of rooms inside for resting, for changing your clothes, and for everything. But notice the Roman bath itself. It has some columns inside, all right? Some columns in the underground. And if you notice here, this area, there's an opening where they used to throw the wood, the burnt wood, okay? It will heat up the columns, all right? And then the columns, after being very, very much heat, they will warm the water of the Roman bath, and it will be a very hot boiling Roman bath. Okay, so we're gonna go inside through that bridge, okay, and we'll be exiting from here, okay, where you see the now the girl exit, okay, and we'll continue. Okay, so you can take pictures inside. The walls, guys, I want you to imagine that the walls are like that. Here's the time of the all plastered, full of paintings. Okay, you can see also from
like those 960 Jews that came and how they went on
उस टाइम का पिलर है ये जो है ओरिजिनल है सारा ब्लैक जो लाइन वाली है यहाँ से नीचे पूरा ओरिजिनल है तो कितना मजबूत था ये बात से हाँ ये बाथरूम एरिया अभी तो पूरा फ्लोर ही बाथरूम है
पूरे 3 हुए 3 मतलब हॉट वाटर
अभी तक है ये ओरिजिनल है ये
cold water, hot water, or common water.
और ये एक है हमारे दूसरा, तीन इतने बड़े बड़े बाथरूम हैं। यहाँ से अंदर जाने का अंदर ग्राउंड है ये। अच्छा, ये रास्ता कितना खतरनाक है।
This is what you saw on the model, okay? So this is the Roman bath, or the Roman hot bath. One thing I would like you to just come inside, let's everyone in. I know it's a small room, but we hope we can fit all of us. All right, so just notice, guys, that after the heat, the wood will heat up the columns. King Herold thought, how come I will be able to make the whole room to be hot? Okay, not only the underground, the floor. So he put for you, the National Park authorities, this is recreated now. Only this section, okay? It's by the National Forest to show you how more or less. But you can see those potteries, okay? Those potteries. It has a hole from the bottom and from top, and all the heat will be transferred along the holes, and it will heat up all the room over here. Okay, it's not only the floor. So you can see it on the original one. It has like rectangular. You can see the original one. All right. So let's leave the room. This way.
Children probably weren't. They were looked at as a slave labor. They were probably sent to Rome. All right, we're going to continue. Yes, yes. In the summertime, there's a This is the main one in Masada. Okay? So after all of this is filled, there's a canal of water inside. It will take all the water to the other water cisterns. Okay, but look how big it is. So, every day, some people only
But you can look how it's big, guys. It's very, very big. It's not a small one. Okay? You can take pictures and we're continuing that way.
પાણીકોટ તેલ બની લઈ રહ્યો છે એટલે જેરુસલેમ બની ગાડી
Guys, we're gonna send you now in the synagogue. Because when I told you the Great Jewish Revolt started in Jerusalem and some people fled Jerusalem, and came to live here, you know, there was all of what they needed on top of Masada. Okay, storage, ammunition, food, water. But there's one thing was missing, as a Jewish people need, which is a synagogue, right? Somewhere to pray. It's a monotheistic religion. They need to pray. So this was originally a room that has a seating, okay, from the time of King Herod the Great. But they, of course, added columns and added an altar. It's always facing Jerusalem, okay? And they made it a synagogue. So if you want, you can go inside, take a few minutes, take pictures.
Until after the destruction of the temple. So here what they do, imagine in the room, the center was the Torah. So if you know, you read the Torah, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And that's so that it's public.
So, can you see how many people can fit in the walls? Well, these are only like wall chambers, you know. This is the wall of the city. This is the wall of the palaces, okay? 2 walls, okay? And what's in between is like rooms for soldiers, for people, all right? And we have so many stories in the Bible as well, mentioning some people living in the walls, okay? Like Rahab, the prostitute in Jericho, in the Old Testament, in the book of Joshua, tells us like a prostitute was living in the walls. For so many people didn't know what does it mean to live in a wall. All right, they thought like on top of the wall or close to the wall. But when we started to discover Masada and all the places, we found that they used to build walls that has chambers inside. So this sometimes functioned as the house for a family. Okay. So saying all of that, I hope you got a few seconds in the shade. Okay, it's good. Yeah. We'll keep going. We'll go outside to the right. Keep going.
Wondering what is the hot room for?
Side and look at the picture.
Guys, yes, look here, come closer.
Did you see that?
What you're looking at over here is called columbarium tower, okay? From the word Columbia, meaning pigeon or dove, okay? And it's a house of, houses for doves. Usually maybe they use it for to make supper or to send messages. to the people, okay? But it was found here on top of Masada, and this is a columbarium from the Roman time, all right? So if you want to have a better look, this is how it looks like, okay? Looks like, but this is what's left from it. We're gonna continue that way to see. If you want, the Jewish Antiquities. It's a very good book, actually. I read that. I really recommend you to read it, but not the original volume, because it's this big. Okay? So don't read that, and read the modern ones if you are interested more about Israel 200 years before Jesus and 100 years after Jesus. Okay? Josephus, that is the period, in his book he covers that period. And in Masada, he tells us that the Romans built a Roman ramp, an artificial one, and he tells us that they built a tower. Okay, we didn't find the tower, but we found the ramp. Okay, but since all of Masada, most of it we rely on the book of Josephus Flavius, so they put for you the tower to understand. Let's go that way to have a look at the ramp for you to take more dimension how big it was. Where the people are walking next to the rails, this is their artificial Roman ramp. It goes up until this way. You can imagine they started adding pebbles, stones, dirt from both sides until they had a very big ramp. Okay, and this is where Masada was conquered by the Romans. I mean, this is where they came up. Yes, the mountain. Yeah, reached the walls. So take a picture if you want of the ramp, guys, and let's go that way. Masada was abandoned after the Great Jewish Revolt. Okay, the year 73, it was destroyed, abandoned for at least 300 years. After 300 years, it was the time of the Byzantine era. We call it Byzantine because the people who came to here, they were from Byzantium, which is today Istanbul. Okay, they were all of them Christians. Those are the early Christians. Okay, the early Christians who came to the Holy Land. And the first pilgrim, the first Christian who entered the Holy Land, her name was Igeria. She was a Russian in the year 320. Okay, she wrote a book. She called it the Book of Igeria, and she mentioned all the places that she saw on the way. She mentioned that on Masada there was a Byzantine chapel built here, dedicated to the Virgin Mary. Okay, so Saint Euthymius, the name of the person who built this chapel here on top of Masada. Okay, that is the last thing that was built on Masada, and after that it was all abandoned until the year 1961, when Yigal Yadin, you could say 1,300, 400 years it was abandoned. Nothing was here. No one knew that there's something called Masada. Yigal Yadin, the Hebrew University archaeologist, he came to here. He started, digging, and the first thing he found is the synagogue. Okay, and after the synagogue, he continued digging, and he saw all of this, what you visited, the watchtower and everything. Okay.
So people didn't know that this was here.
No. They didn't know that there's something here. Only until that time, 1961.
1961?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And the cable car was only installed in 1998. So from 1998, those who visited Israel, Masada, there was no cable car. You only have to take the artificial ramp or the snake path. Yes. All right. It's good that we come after 1998 to take the cable car. Okay, let's go this way. שנת 73.
מזבוט סביבנו דווקא.
Okay, here's the model of the Western Palace. As you can see, it's not so big as the Northern Palace. This was like another section of Masada. But you're now more or less in the main room of the palace. You can see these two columns. These two columns is just over there. Okay. So we're now in the center of the palace, right? So you can take a picture, guys, if you want anything around you. Okay, as you can see, there's so many things here to point out to. Sorry. So take a picture if you want. And also, let's see. The Western Palace. The Western Palace. So this was, yeah, the people, not mainly the people, but the visitors. Usually the Northern Palace was for Herold himself, a private.
Guest
And this
room.
is for the visitors, for the,
Guest room है
governors who
इतना
come to
बड़ा.
visit him, King
बाप रे.
Agrippa, anyone who will come, they will sit here. Okay? So, let's go that way, the way that we came from.
Before Josephus, this is set in the it's a very Jewish thing. It's kind of like
गाइस अब हम वापस जा रहे हैं केबल कार से पूरा यहाँ का टूर खत्म हुआ है
Like coming outside?
यहाँ का टूर खत्म करके अब हम केबल कार में नीचे जाने वाले हैं केबल कार में जाने वाले हैं अब
If you look down, you see these little canyons. You see these little canyons?
Yeah.
Okay? Because the Dead Sea was created by virtue of the fact that millions of years ago there was a
रिटर्न जा रहे हैं हम लोग
and came into this very deep
and hope you enjoy your visit to Masada National Park.
been created by
We
the
look
shifting
forward to
plates.
seeing you again
Once the water
soon.
came in, it couldn't get back out of this deep hole to go back out. So like if you had a tsunami and the water can escape. So here you had this very large sediment of ancient buildings. As the rains come out and carve all of the tops of these little canyons, if you filled it all in, it would all be at the same level. Okay? So that's the sediment. That's the bottom of the former lake itself. In the you were out last night, you see the harvest moves?
Yes.
So it would be great to be here because there's more of it over there. You can see there's actually a hospital here. And I'd love to stay there, move at night, go climb in those canyons. They're all white tomorrow, and it lights up like paper. So midnight walk. Yes, this is a mummy. That's the wall. Crazy. Crazy good. So we'll go need more water. There's going to be a water thing to go off. And then you go to the bathroom. I got this way.
गाइस केबल कार में जाने के लिए हमें पहले ये स्टिकर दिया जाता है हर एक को ये टिकट रहता है केबल कार
It'll be nice in the bus too, I think.
गाइस हम लोग का टूर ख़त्म हुआ पूरा घूम के हम लोग आ गए नीचे उतर गए अब हम अपनी जो बस है उसमें जाने वाले हैं और उसी जगह पर हम टूर करेंगे अभी चलिए
Running start. Oh, apparently dogs created disease.
Anointing oil and frankincense, out of this, okay? And this was all in the golden valley.
Oh, keeper. The comma keeper?
I don't really understand what study options there are, but
गाइस अनगिनती नेचर रिजर्व जा रहे हैं हम लोग अनगिनती नेचर रिजर्व हालत ख़राब होगा चल चल के परेशान तो बुखार है और चल रहा था अनगिनती नेचर रिजर्व में हम लोग जा रहे हैं इतना बुखार है मुझे क्लाइमेट चेंजेस की वजह से सर्दी है बहुत ज़्यादा बुखार है बट आप लोगों तक वीडियो पहुंचाने के लिए मैं फिर भी जा रही हूँ ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लाइक शेयर और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए चैनल को
valley between Jerusalem and Jericho. Okay, there's underground over here, and it all flows here into the Dead Sea. Okay, and in Jerusalem, every drop of water, we have the watershed line. Every drop of water from that tree, it goes to the left. So the water here, thousands of years. You can come down. There's only 4 waterfalls.
Its beauty and healing properties became known around the world, coveted by many who voyaged to its captivating
फैक्ट्री गया और क्या
The BEF rock. See it? Yes. This is where exactly the Dead Sea was. Yes, 80 years ago. This means that where are we driving now? You order your food. Okay. Saying all of this, guys, we usually put. I mean, let me before I told you about the meeting time and meeting point. Scientifically speaking, guys, scientifically speaking. Your body is not preferred to stay in the water for more than half an hour. Okay, 30 minutes. That would be great for your body to get all the minerals from the Dead Sea. And on the shore, you can find the natural mud. Okay, the natural mud of the Dead Sea. But sometimes it's mixed with pebbles and stones. You know, just be careful not to scratch your body. But in any case, if you put it on your body, on your face, it's not longer than 10 minutes. 10 minutes would be enough, okay? And then you can wash it in the sea or in the shower, it depends on you, alright? It's up to you.